Welcome everybody to the Sports Sounds with Mark and Mike. We hope everyone is having a good, wonderful Monday. It is definitely the beginning of the work week. I don't know about you guys. Definitely feeling it. Here in this valley, we got some heat getting ready to kick in, and I am not looking forward to this 108 temperature. That is for sure. Um, First off, let's start with our sponsors. Of course, we've got our local favorites, the number one sports fan. For all your sports merchandise. Hey, and hit them up this week. This week, they actually, for Father's Day, for the next couple of weeks, they are going to have a buy one, get one 50% off for the NFL hats. Secondly, we have Cali Built Graphics, who takes care of all of our wonderful shirt needs and all of our decals, everything. Take care. Hit them up. Hit up Rigo. He'll take care of it. And last but not least, we have, of course, our local COO and great co-host, Mr. Mike Porche, who's our last sponsor. Mikey.
Black MP Living Water. You can visit them at www.blackmp.com to get your 30 to 35% off. You just type in the Sports Lounge podcast and you would get your 30% off. Go visit www.blackmp.com right now to get your percentage off. It's hot out there, so go visit www.blackmp.com.
That's right. That's right. Hey, so we have a big one tonight. Tonight's show is on the NBA Finals preview. There is the three of us, and it's going to be
I'm kind of left out. I think I'm going to change real quick while you guys talk. I'm serious. Left out.
So, oh, you got the link. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
I was like, yeah, it's the same one every time. Okay. No, so we've got the big things going on. I'm probably going to freeze for a second, guys. My earbuds are driving me crazy. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Still here.
Okay.
You didn't freeze either.
Okay. No, my earbuds I can't handle ambient sound.
Oh.
The ambiance, and I'm like, no, it yeah. But anyway, so we have the NBA Finals preview, and yes, it's official. We can go ahead and start getting ready to wind down for so this way it is now the greatest sport of all time. Major League Baseball is up next, but let's get right into it. NBA Finals preview between the Dallas Mavericks and the soon-to-be 18-time NBA World Champion Boston Celtics.
He already saying it.
I'm already saying it, man.
Already saying it.
So let's start it off, man. You guys, we talked a little bit last week. We had a conversation actually via text with all of us, and Dupree, you have the Mavs winning in 6, correct?
Yes, that's what I put. Mavs in 6.
All right, and Mikey, you have the Mavs in how many?
Let me see here. 6. They're gonna win it back at home.
Okay, Terry he's following us from on the road right now. Unfortunately, he couldn't hop on, but he actually has Boston in 7 is what he had, and last but not least, I had Boston in 6. So we're all saying this is going to be a great series. Basically, 7 is always better, but it's great for revenue. It's better for business, but trust me, I'd like to see a 4-game sweep with Boston and just and take home and hang up number 8.
You got to make it fun for everybody. You got to make it a challenge.
It's fun for me. It's fun for me. I'm just saying. Hey, so let's get right into it. So one of the things I want to ask you guys, so there's 3 questions we're going to have today, and one of it's going to be the strengths on the teams that you chose, the weaknesses on your opponents, and then also who do you guys select that's going to win the MVP for your teams. So first off, we're going to go with you guys. What is your guys' strength? What do you guys feel that the strengths for the Dallas Mavericks are?
Well, there's no one really stopping Kyrie and stopping Divock, they've been making everybody go at their own pace when it comes to every time they play them. And each time they score within 30 points every game between them both and no foul trouble. So if they never get foul trouble, there's no stopping them from winning anything.
Okay.
For me, it's real simple. Their strengths is Kyrie and Luka. When you're talking about the tempo of the team, there's two different tempos that you have to compete against. You got Kyrie Irving, who is quick to the basket. He was one of the best dribblers of all time, and he can get to the rack. He has great court vision, and those type of things. He knows how to play basketball. He's been in a finals before, so he knows what it takes to win a championship, as he's won one before. But the key about it is not only just the tempo. So you got like a fast Kyrie, and then you got more of a conservative Luka, who has like a good turnaround. He usually does a good turnaround right, but now he's using that turnaround left to confuse folks, which he did it in the last game against Minnesota, which they were thinking he's gonna go right, but he goes left, knocking those balls down. He's a deep threat for a 3-ball and those things. But really, to be honest, Gafford, Gafford and Lively, who has been showing up for that team. Now, the key component for Boston to try to get to slow down Kyrie and them is they're going to think to double. Do you know what the Mavs are doing really good at on the double is they're getting doubled up on top. And they're not getting doubled from wing to wing or corner to corner. They're not getting doubled. Where they're getting doubled is right at the top. They want you to double them at the top, because what happens when you double a player at the top?
Leaves rings open.
It leaves everything open. Yeah, it leaves everything else open. So you can go right at Lively, who's been getting the Lively, or Gafford, who's getting those easy dunks. Or you can ship it off to Luka, who can take that one-on-one real quick with the turnaround shot. And then, Gafford or one of them is underneath the basket to clean it up. So that has been the most difficult piece to the puzzle, is you're going to have to find players that are going to have to match up with them perfectly to not double so much. And even when you're getting off of the double, whether you're going under or above, if you go under, they're shooting a 3. If you go over, Kyrie's taking it to the basket. It's very difficult to guard them even one-on-one. So you're going to have to find some type of pace that is going to have to slow that game down of the two. That is going to be the strength. The weakness of them is obviously the bigs. If you have a Porzingis back, and I don't know the status of him coming back or what whatever that, the only way Boston can beat the Mavericks is going to be a Porzingis in the paint. Horford is too old. He can't do it by himself. He shoots a lot of dumb threes, kind of like how you have with AD. He's doing, some cleanup work, but it's not sufficient. So it's not enough to win the ball game. What you're going to need is a Porzingis who could do that and can stretch the floor. That's the only way Horford is great, is when you have a big like Porzingis in the game who's able to stretch that floor. If you don't have a Porzingis in the game, this is not even going to be a series, guys. That is going to be the critical position that you're going to have to put yourself in and rush him to get him back. Because if not, it's not going to be a competitive series. You're going to have a lot of more rest time for Luka and Kyrie, which that's not what you want. You want them pressed. You want them tired. You want them exhausted. And I don't think that that's going to happen without a Porzingis. So the strengths of Mavs is going to be exactly that. The way they know how to spread the ball, they know how to get doubled at the top, and when they're one-on-one action, the pick and roll is fantastic, and they can score the basket no matter where they're at on the floor. So, and then the weakness obviously is, like, again, I would say is the big. They don't have, you notice in the last game they had when you had Towns and Rudy Gobert at the bottom, the second chance shots did not happen. For some reason, they thought they could get away with Towns being at the 3-point line most of the game and him shooting 1 for 4 in the first half, and then it was like something ridiculous. And by the time the game is over, and that's not how you're going to beat the Mavs. The way they beat the Mavs is when you had the Twin Towers. and then they're able to spread the floor by using screens and get off of those screens or quick zips to the basket. And they're most effective when Towns was attacking the basket and not shooting the 3-point shot. So if you can use Porzingis and Horford down below and have them both be down there for the cleanup and to spread the floor, I think that would make it a series. But I still, even then, it's going to be very, very tough with him coming off injury to see what he looks like as he has rest this whole entire playoff series.
So for me, I'm going to say this. Strengths for the Celtics is going to be the fact being that Kristaps Porzingis is back. He will be playing. He's coming back from calf injury. But now here's the thing. You just said the hardest thing is going to be for the fact being playing without him just in case. They had 4 losses and 25 missed games. Boston did. That's it. 21-4 without Porzingis in the lineup. Now, don't get me wrong. 20 points, 7 boards a game. Yes, very important. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, one's averaging 26, the other one's averaging 25. So you got 51 points right there. But I think the biggest thing is going to come from, you've got 2 guys that can match up with Luka. You got a Jaylen Brown who can match up with, I'm going to actually say you're going to end up seeing Jaylen Brown on Kyrie, and you're going to see Jason Tatum up against Luka. The reason being the size difference, but also the speed. Tatum's a little slower than Brown, so that's why I think Kyrie can't beat him off the ball. But here's the other catch. You also have Derek White. Derek White and Drew Holiday are averaging over 35 minutes a game combined, between each other. So if you got 2 point guards plus Brown, and that's leaving Tatum off the side, I'm sorry, there is nobody that's going to beat him. That's why I'm saying, realistically, I'm saying 6, but I really do think Boston's going to win it. Possibly a sweep, if not for sure 5. The thing is that you have to box out Luka. You cannot give up the rebounds because Luka is a rebounding machine, averaging almost 10 boards a game. Kyrie is not really doing. He's not good anymore at dishing the ball off. He's only averaging 5 assists a game. 22 points, 4 boards, 5 assists. Don't get me wrong. That's a really good stat line. But Luka's averaging 29, 10, and 9. So that shows you right off the bat, okay, Luka's your point. Kyrie is your number 2. But the problem is your point is shooting everything. So for me, I think Boston has the more flexibility. I think Boston has the bench. You have guys like I said, Porzingis is coming back. Al Horford, who is only averaging 30 minutes a game, but he's not even going to have to do that. It's going to keep him rested. But you also have a young cat named Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard's averaging 21 points a game, or 21 minutes a game with 8 points. To have guys like White, Holiday, Pritchard, Brown, Tatum, I'm sorry, you're going to have all the rest that you need because you're going to be able to rotate off those 2 guys. So I think that's the strength. The strengths are for Boston. They have a backcourt that can match up and they can rotate and stay fresh. That is what is going to help Boston win the championship.
See, my combat against that is who do they really beat? Like, so your thing is that okay, they're 21-4 without a Porzingis, right? You're talking about that is one of their strengths. They have a bench with Pritchard who's scoring 8 points means nothing. But you have so
it only takes 1 to win.
You have a Jaylen Brown and you have a Jason Tatum that's going to take out Luka and Kyrie. So then who's going to be guarding PJ Washington? Who's going to be guarding those other guys?
You mean the guy who averages 13 points a game?
Well, if you're taking away the 2 other guys, there's going to be more chances for them to get shots up. So all I'm saying is it's going to take more than that. And just looking at the schedule and looking how you guys are looking at the Celtics and in the matchups, they didn't beat nobody. They haven't even played anybody. You beat a Heat team, and then you went and played Cavaliers who you struggled with most of the time with game 3, 4, and 5. You guys lose a game?
To who?
Yeah,
They lost one to Miami they lost by Miami to 10 after they beat Miami by 20. Then the next game they beat them by 20. Then the next game they beat them by another 16, and then they beat them by 34. That was Miami.
Yeah.
Cleveland they beat by 35. They did lose horribly. They won by 13, won by 7, and then won by 15.
But
Indiana, it was
got though. I know Indiana was the hardest one you guys have and maybe the Heat because of Butler, but
everybody was injured and every team that you played in struggled.
Okay,
so, and now you're telling me you're going to beat a team that just beat the number 1 team in the West. They went and beat, and then they go and they beat. Let me go back.
They beat Minnesota. And you guys got to remember, Minnesota was the number. Okay, so first off, Minnesota was the number 3 team in the West, and they won by 3, won 9, lost by 5, and then won by 21. It was a game-winning shot, and then they finally started catching the roll in game 3. When it comes to OKC, they lost by 22, won by 9, won by 4, lost by 4, 12. And another game winner to win the final game. Okay. As for
600, 104.
The Clippers, they lost right off the bat in game 1. Then they won by 3, won by 11, lost by 5, won by 30, and won. Only team that Dallas beat, realistically, was the Clippers.
Bro, they beat the Clippers. They beat the Thunder, and then they went and they beat the Timberwolves. They went through a gauntlet of teams that are stacked.
Not really counting the Clippers, but
Clippers
on the Thunder and the Timberwolves.
Like I said, I'll give you the Thunder a decent team.
The Thunder had the runner-up, SGA runner-up for MVP this year. They beat them with a Chet. A Chet was like phenomenal 7-footer. Then they go and they beat a team with Ant, Towns, and Gobert. Not to add Daniels and everybody else, but they went and beat them. What I'm saying is the point of the matter is that the Boston Celtics has not really played a fully healthy team for me to be here and sit here and say this is going to be a ball game. Who have they played that is stacked? Who have they played that is number 1? Who have they played with their top superstar players or in the game, playing the game against them? I'm saying that they struggled with these teams without their top superstar players. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they haven't played nobody with the superstars on the floor. They didn't play against the Knicks, who had the superstars with Julius Randle, with all those other guys. They didn't play against a Jimmy Butler. They didn't play against who else did they play? You said they played against.
They played Miami, Cleveland, and Indiana. So they had to play.
Cleveland. They didn't play Donovan Mitchell. They didn't. You know what I'm saying? They don't have, like you're saying, you have 2 guys that are going to score 25, 26 points, 51 points, whatever what the number was. It's 51 points a game. These cats are struggling with 51 points a game. My question isn't if they're going to win or lose, because I believe they're going to lose. But my next question is what's going to happen when they do lose? Are they going to break up that team now with Jalen and Tatum? Because obviously they can't get it done. They had a Kyrie on their team. They still couldn't get it done. They have a Jrue Holiday, which is a better defensive player than Marcus Smart, and that is going to play a role in the matchup that you haven't talked about yet, because Jrue Holiday is a better defender than Anderson is. But the fact of the matter is how are you going to slow this team down, and what are the key components that's going to tell me and Dupree that this team is ready to play against a team that has went through a gauntlet and beat these teams with the superstar.
Rest.
Oh, come on. We're not talking about
okay, let's go ahead. Okay, let's look at this statistically.
Plays like a turtle and still beats everybody. You talk about rest. He don't need rest at all.
let's take away. Let's say you can wipe out. You can wipe clean because you want to know what the postseason stats are for Dallas is 51 points, 51.3 or 0.6 points a game for Luka and Kyrie combined. The combined points for Jalen and Tatum, 51. You're talking about literally 0.6 points of difference. But the catch is, it's like I said, it's not going to be those guys that are winning. It's not going to be that. It's going to be the Drew Holidays, the Kristaps Porzingises, the the Derek Whites. Derek White, 18 points a game. So again, you can take out the 51-51. After that, Dallas has nobody. When you looked at their games that they scored,
you got Lively, got PJ Washington, Jones.
Okay.
We got
now let's talk about PJ Washington. So for the playoffs, they had 6, they went 6, then they went 5. So they've played 17 games, right? 6, 6, and 5, 17, 12, 5, that's 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of 17 games. Doncic was the leading scorer. Kyrie Irving, 3. PJ Washington, 3. So all you have to do is shut down Luka.
How?
That's what I was saying earlier. They both have been scoring 36 points in between
Luka
them.
and Kyrie at the
playoffs.
Again.
Shut down Luka, and then you have to do Kyrie. How are you going to shut them both down? How?
Tatum. Then you've got Jaylen Brown.
Okay, so
you've
what
got Drew Holiday. You got Derek White.
Not football, where it's like you got corner versus wide receiver, right? In basketball, if Lively comes up and wants the switch, and they get the switch, you're not always going to get Tatum, and you're not always going to get Jaylen Brown. What do you do next?
So here's the thing. First off, you're going to see a small ball lineup. Because why?
Tell him to hop on.
Hop on, Terry. Hop on.
Oh, he can hear me. I forgot. I was going to say type it in, but.
So here's the thing. PJ Washington, okay, that's your next big. Kristaps Porzingis. Okay. Porzingis is going to cover him. Then you got Jones.
Is he, though? We don't even know. You don't even know what you're getting in Porzingis yet.
You're getting a healthy Porzingis. He sat this entire time. He's healthy.
Okay.
This is the NBA Finals. It's all right. But hey, so what do you guys think? All right.
Maybe game 2, but game 1.
Okay, my question is, what's the weaknesses for the? What do you guys feel that the weaknesses are for the Celtics?
The matchup and the holes that need to be filled at the paint.
What paint?
Exactly.
Who's in the paint? PJ Washington again.
Again, Lively and Gafford are in the paint, regardless of what you're saying. They're in the paint. They're going to be there. Guaranteed 1,000% they're going to be there. The problem with the Celtics is that you have 2 bigs that like to shoot threes. That's the problem. So they're not. So we're talking about defense and offensive rebounds or offensive rebounds. There's not going to be an offensive rebound. It's going to be, we get the ball, we're going to push. You're going to see a lot of fast breaks with the Mavs if they don't get it together.
There he is.
Now you're all in trouble.
So here's the thing. Again, you're saying the weaknesses is going to be because of the matchups. The matchups for the bigs. Okay. Gafford, whoop-de frickin' do, PJ Washington. Okay. Again. Like I said, realistically, 4-1, 4-2 Boston. The weaknesses for the Mavs. Again, biggest weakness is, who do they have besides Luka and Kyrie? Absolutely nobody. Nobody. Terry, what do you think? What do you think the weaknesses are? Because you got Boston. What do you think the weaknesses are for Mavs?
They're gotta be the craziest analytic talk I've ever heard on the face of this planet. If you're gonna go and tell me
This guy.
who else do they got, and then they don't matter if they just went through a gauntlet and they beat all these teams, like that makes
What gauntlet?
Bro, we just broke it down for you. We want me to do it in Spanish?
Okay, now here's the catch. Here's the catch. You talked about OKC.
Let me say
You
this.
you said OKC.
East is weaker than the West. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So they have to go through teams that are much tougher than the teams that the East have. Not only that, Boston had to go through teams that were unhealthy superstars and played against nobody, and they struggled. Most of the time,
They had 2 losses. How is that a struggle?
The matchups, the way they played. I don't know if you were watching the games. See, now I don't even know if you were watching the same games.
I mean, yeah, I'm watching the game, but like seriously,
how they posted it though, that they posted that the Boston was in easy mode, and Luka and them had to go through everything they had to go through, like making it look through like.
Then, yo,
you guys had to go with no against no Butler and no other teams. There wasn't even anybody on the Cavs that anybody can worry about at all. I'm surprised they even made it.
So Mitchell, right? Then you go to the next one. Then you got no Tyrese Halliburton, whatever his damn name is.
Halliburton.
No, there was none of him, right? And it was a Pacer team that just beat a Knicks team that was heavily injured, and they still had what's his name, Jalen, who was scoring out of his mind, and then he ends up getting injured, and then Josh Hart, he's out. It's just, I mean, who do you guys play? There's nobody that was, you were battle tested to get to where you are today, which is going to show evident in the first 2 games. I'm not saying that Mavs is going to sweep you. I'm not saying that Jaylen Brown or Tatum. I don't even think Tatum's really going to show up. I think you're going to see more Jaylen Brown than you are Tatum in this series. But at the end,
okay, you said okay. Hold on a second.
Gauntlet.
We're gonna go to Indiana real quick. We're gonna go to Indiana. Pascal Siakam.
Why are we going to say
22 points a game? 22 points a game.
I don't give a damn. He had 32 points a game. Who is Siakam? He's a role player. We're not talking. I'm talking superstars, bro. I'm talking.
I'm worried about the numbers. The numbers are points.
Is Siakam going to take the last shot of the game? Yes or no?
Is Siakam going to what?
Is he going to take the last shot of the game?
Ain't nobody going to take the last shot of the game.
If they needed 3 points, to tie the game, or they needed
to
win the game,
he's a power forward. Why would he take? The guy's a freaking power forward.
That's the point. He's not a factor.
They run. Here's the catch. They run a big lineup. People want to say, well, Indiana struggles with, or Boston struggles with Indiana. Pascal Siakam, okay, Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith. Those were all bigs. Boston had who? Who did Boston? Oh, that's right. Kristaps Porzingis, who didn't play at all. They had Al Horford, who's like 77 in the NBA. So let's just say this. You talk about a matchup. They took and went up against a team full of bigs. And they played their game. Did they slaughter them? No, they did not. They didn't. But did they beat them? 100%.
As they
Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland. Did they have Donovan Mitchell? No, they didn't. But obviously they were still good enough that they could make the playoffs. Right? Because who else did Cleveland have? Do y'all know?
Garland.
Huh?
Garland.
They don't have anybody. That's
Garland.
why I didn't have much to go against.
Except because they don't have a superstar.
I'm not even saying a superstar. I'm having a team. You have 2 people that score. That's not a team.
Donovan Mitchell only missed 2 games, you guys. 2. Not 10. 2. That's it. He averages 39 minutes a game. He missed 2 games. Evan Mobley, 36 minutes a game. Another big. He's a power forward. Okay. Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen doesn't do one thing that Jarrett Allen does, and that's the only thing that his job is. Can he score points? Not really, but guess what? He still averaged 17, but he averaged 14 boards a game. Oh, wait, what's that? They had to play against another big. Here's the catch. You try to say, is the East weaker than the West? Yes, it is. I have no problem saying the East is weaker than the West. Why? Because the West is playing with a lot of skinny, anorexic fools like Chet Holmgren, and Victor Wembanyama, and all these other fools that are freaking 12 foot tall that weigh like 110 pounds freaking soaking wet. They cannot play down low. They rely on the three ball. Anthony Davis relies on the three ball. Karl Anthony Towns relies on the three ball.
I would argue that point. I don't think
my point is you have guys that the West is made up of guys that are taller, and they are basically, honestly, they're more athletic. I'm not going to deny that. But they do not play the old school style of NBA. Now, when it comes to the East, that is where you're going up against your bigs. That's how it has always been. Think about it. Back in the day before Shaq came into the league, everybody was dominant in the East. Only time they were dominant in the West was why? Oh, wait, it was the Lakers, right? And who'd they have? They had a 6'9" point guard, I believe. Oh, that's right. They had Magic Johnson. You had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis. You had guys, they played a bigger game. They played down low. The East is played with the balls down low.
What's the point for the Celtics? What was the point?
The point is they had to accommodate. That's why when you're playing against that similar style, when you're playing opposite style, if I got a 6-foot guy going up against a 6'9" guy, guess who's going to win majority of the time? It's going to be the freaking 6'9" guy. Now you are playing against a lineup that is going to be very similar. You're playing with a lot of small ball. You don't have a lot of big. You do have Porzingis. You do have Al Horford. You're going to have, yes, you do know who's getting back for Porzingis. No, you don't. But what you do know is this. You have a guy that can take in, and he can take part of the minutes away from Horford that allows him to get the rest that he needs, being that he's 77 in the NBA. The matchups are more equal in this series. And you have to look at overall the other players that are not superstars. Everyone wants to talk about just the superstars. I never once said anything about Jason Tatum. Never once said anything about Jaylen Brown. I said, you wipe them out. You wipe out Kyrie and you wipe out Luka because their points totals are identical. When you look at the role players, the key to winning NBA championships have always been role players. Miami won it back in when they had, who was on the bench? Oh, wait, they had a guy sitting over in the corner that hit that three that won the game. Ray Allen was a role player. Role players are what is key because you double team the superstars all the time. It is easy to double team a guy and drop the ball low. You said it yourself, Mikey, what's going to matter? Who's going to stop Kyrie? They're going to double up at the top. They're going to drop it down to PJ Washington. They're going to drop it down to Jones. Wait. You said yourself, in order for them to win, it has to do with the role players. Role players for Boston are better than the role players for Dallas.
But it's not going to – it doesn't outweigh the fact that of what the play calling and how a coach designs plays based upon role playing. What I'm saying is even though Kyrie gets doubled at the top and you drop it, that's not always going to be every single play. They're not going to always double Kyrie. They're going to see that's a problem. When I double him, Lively gets the ball and he scores a damn ball. I cannot continue to double Kyrie. But what I can do is send a guy up, make him go under, and then there's going to be a switch. My thing is what's going to happen when they get the switch they want? What happens when Luke gets the switch that he wants, like he's been doing when he was doing against Rudy Gobert? What are they going to do then? That's going to be
the key is the only way that's going to happen. Here's the catch. Rudy Gobert is too busy was trying to play up top. Why was Gobert playing up top when they were playing against Minnesota?
Because he got the switch.
Because he got the switch. But where was he up top? Why was he up top? Because that was the defense that they ran. You saw guys like Towns, they're up top. Gobert, they're up top. They don't play. They're not post guys. You're going to go up against a post guy. Porzingis. Guess what? When you play against Porzingis, where does he sit at? Outside.
Okay, so when they get the switch to Porzingis, he's going to stay outside?
You got Tatum up top. That's the catch. That's what I'm trying to get at is you've got these role players because they're going to play small ball. They're going to do just like Golden State did back in the day, when they won the NBA championship.
Terry didn't get to talk. I want to hear what Terry thoughts is.
I'm enjoying this heavyweight fight right now, man. Go ahead, keep going. No, hey, good to be here with you guys, man. Dupree, first time I've ever been on the show with you, man. So good to be here with you. Chosen one once again, and Marky Mark, man. Okay, well, here's the deal. I'm gonna go on a different tangent than you guys here. I picked Boston in 7, home court advantage. I'm taking it in the finals. I'm gonna try to be brief with my comments, but I'm gonna go Luka and Kyrie versus Brown and Jason Tatum. That's a wash. They're gonna cancel each other out. I seen some stats on Luka and Tatum head to head today. Last 4 meetings, they're almost exactly the same numbers, percentage, points per game, everything. I think Luka's got the assist advantage, but he's more of a point guard anyway. But as far as the assists go, so I'm going to look for a third guy, and the X factors for me, obviously Dallas is going to be that lively kid. Did he go to Duke, or am I thinking of somebody else, Mark?
I went to Duke.
Okay, so that's why I don't like him. So so he's the X factor for Dallas, and then I got Porzingis and for Boston. The interesting thing about Porzingis is, like you said earlier about that stat, 21-4 when he was out. They're better without him. So how much is he going to play? How much are they going to try to, what if they lost 2 games in this playoff already? So that's it. They've only lost 2 games in the playoff. So are they going to try to disrupt that chemistry? What are they going to do with that? They try to go too much with Porzingis. I think that hurts them. So that's my only question mark for Boston. Second of all, I can't wait to see how Kyrie reacts in Boston, man, because they do not like him there. He has bad history there. And really, I want to see the man deal with some adversity. I would love to see him and Luka win. I am a Kyrie Irving fan for sure. I think he was just as responsible for that championship in Cleveland as LeBron was. And I want to see how he reacts because those Boston fans are merciless. And I want to see how he can respond to that, get past that adversity. If he can do that, that's his crowning achievement. It will be Luka's team. Luka wins the MVP. It's going to be the best player on the team that wins. But I honestly want to throw one more last thing out there. How many times, if it's ever happened, I think the last time it happened may have been Jerry West. The last time an MVP was on the losing team. I think that's only happened one time. You could see something like that where the stats will support Luka possibly being the MVP, but just not having enough to go with his performance and Boston pulling it out in 7 games. I don't think Tatum lights it up. I don't think Tatum's going to go nuts. I think him and Brown are going to complement each other good, but it's that X factor, that lively for Dallas and Porzingis for Boston. So yeah, I got Boston in 7. I'm just going to go with the home court advantage there. So, but that's not my heart pick. That's my brain pick. My heart pick is Dallas. I would love to see Dallas prove me wrong, but I don't know if they can.
That's fair.
So
7.
now I'm gonna say this real quick. First off, only player you are correct. It was the inaugural season the NBA Finals MVP was given, and that was Jerry West.
Okay.
It is no longer allowed to be given to a player on the losing team.
No way.
Yes, NBA has actually washed that away.
Really? I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah. So that's the catch with that. But for me, we're gonna finish up right now. We're actually at 4 longer than our show normally should be. But I'm gonna say this: MVP. Who do you guys got?
I got Kyrie. I think
Kyrie.
I'm gonna piggyback on what Terry said. Luka already won the MVP for the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference Finals. And I think Kyrie's gonna fight against that adversity that he had. He has a lot of bad blood there. I think he's gonna perform really, really well. He's gonna use it as motivation. I think he's gonna go off, and I think he's gonna show why. He's been there too. He's been there. He's been in the finals. He knows what it takes. He had 2 mentors. He had Kobe, and he had Kobe first, and then he had LeBron as mentors. He played with LeBron, but he had mentorship with Kobe. I think he takes that to his advantage, and I think he gets MVP.
Dupree, who do you got?
I take Kyrie as well because he's been there already, so he's already able to lead the team. I can see Luka getting it too, though, because like he has not been stopped getting doubles almost every game when it comes to rebounds and points and all that he wants. So I can still see him give it to them just because of the fact that he's been still doing that, and if he's still continues to do that, then he will get it.
All right, Terry, who do you got for Boston? Who wins MVP?
Yeah, it's probably going to be Tatum, but his numbers are going to be nowhere near Kyrie or Luka for the series as a whole. That's why I kind of bummed that I think Boston will win, especially if they do. I can see him winning the MVP with 26 a game, 25 a game. Luka's going to average 30. Kyrie's probably going to be up there around 25. But they're going to give it to who wins. And if I'm picking Boston, I got to pick the best player on Boston. That's going to be Tatum, so I'll go with him.
So do you really full-heartedly believe that Tatum is the best player on Boston? Better than
Yeah, according to the people that are going to give out the MVP award, yes.
No, I'm asking you personally.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Jaylen Brown is pretty bad too, but it's Tatum's team, and if they win the World Series, if they win the finals, he's going to get the MVP. If he doesn't play good enough to get the MVP, they ain't going to win.
True. That's very true.
So you got to look at. I mean,
I think,
but I hope I'm wrong.
I'm going to say this. I don't like Jason Tatum. Is he the next big thing? No. It's Anthony Edwards. With the way his style of play, I'm old school. But you got Jason Tatum, who's 26, 10, and 6. That's a pretty decent stat line for the playoffs. Okay. That's actually a really good stat line. But now my big thing is this. What did he average in the regular season? Regular season is completely different, obviously. And he was at 27, 8, and 5. So he stays consistent. He's a 26, 27 point guy. I say 8.5 boards, 5 assists. But who do I think win MVP? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to toss this one out. I think if we see Kristaps Porzingis playing the entire series, it's going to be Porzingis.
Oh.
Because they are going to be doing everything they can to stop Tatum, to stop Brown. And that's going to leave Porzingis.
Oh, damn it. Damn it.
It just kicked him off.
It's just wrong way. Uh-oh.
His phone just died.
Not the phone.
But so that's what I got, guys. It's going to be good. It starts Thursday night, NBA Finals. You've heard it here. We got Boston and Dallas going at it. It's going to be pretty interesting. Mikey, glad to have you back. Definitely miss having you on. Our conversations always get a little intense, and I definitely enjoy it. That is for sure. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to toss this out there in the next minute. Just so you guys know, for whoever is following, whoever wants to restream, whoever catches the end of this. Mikey and I have had a conversation that has gone on for quite a while on the GOAT conversation between Jordan and LeBron. He and I are going to do a 1v1 Jordan versus LeBron GOAT conversation here on the Sports Lounge. We aren't sure when. I'm thinking probably right after the NBA Finals. I think that'd probably be the best time because we don't want to take away from the finals to talk about it. But what do you say, Mikey? Right after the NBA Finals? Once Boston hangs 18?
When the Mavs win in 5, yeah. For
so
sure.
there it is, guys. Me and Mikey head up Jordan versus LeBron, and I'm going to toss this out there, and I'm going to say this. I really don't think Jordan is the GOAT.
Come on. You're doing this.
But I also don't think it's LeBron either. I think they both are game changers. Because you can't, and I'm going to make this, and I'm going to vouch this. You will not hear me ever say a comparison. Me and Mikey were talking about it on the phone just a little over an hour and a half ago. You will not hear me say, what is Jordan? 6-0? I don't care. Bill Russell was 10-0. Bob Cousy, 8-0. John Havlicek, 10-0. I can give you guys that were the different era.
It's a way
the greatest of all time, though.
In 2000s when they were hitting people hard in football.
Definitely legends, but what we're talking about here is the greatest of all time, the greatest athlete, the greatest person to ever do it.
That we are. So right after the finals, you're going to hear, and we're going to make our compelling arguments. They're not going to bring up any type of anything on championships. So look out for that show.
Because if we're basing it off of championships, we have to bring up Bill Russell and those other guys. It's just not it's not even a debate at that point.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tonight's show. Thank you guys for following us. Hit the like and share. Reshare our videos, stuff like that. Help us get our followers up, and yeah, we appreciate y'all. Appreciate your sponsors. So we hope you guys have a good night and y'all be blessed.